Hello and welcome once again to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Marta. Today is the 17th of May and I have some news for you today regarding Far Cry 4. As the Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has said that Far Cry 4 will include a lot more multiplayer than Far Cry 3. Now, of course, the first game included a 4-player co-op campaign that was separate from the main game, and although the campaign depicted a single storyline, it was, of course, divided into multiple episodes, kind of like Left 4 Dead. Now, Guillemot did not specify how this will actually affect Far Cry 4, but the Ubisoft CFO, Elaine Martinez, did expand on the overall philosophy for the multiplayer to GameSpot. And he said, quote, "We are moving to make games that are extended over longer periods, so in these games we not only want to sell more units, but we want to sell more items, more content. That's one of the challenges, of course, but that's what we're seeing some other players have successfully done. Once again, players will be able to craft their own stories as they travel through this exotic open world teeming with wildlife, using their wits along with an assortment of powerful weapons and diverse vehicles." So they haven't really said much other than the fact that it's going to include more multiplayer than Far Cry 3. But to be honest, I don't know if this is good news or bad news. To be honest, I'm leaning more towards it could potentially be bad. As to be honest, I think for a lot of people, Far Cry is a single player experience and probably always has been for quite some time. And of course, many people are feeling, well, I don't want this to compromise my single player experience because resources are being, siphoned away from the story towards this multiplayer that they want to implement in Far Cry 4. And to be honest, that's a understandable concern. To be honest, that was the first thing that I thought when I read this. Is like, well, we don't want it affecting the single player because, they only have so many resources on a single development for each game, of course. So, it could be possible that the single player will suffer because of this, and a lot of people are saying that I'm out, I'm not going to get this if I have even the slightest inkling that this is going to take things away from the single player experience. And I think a lot of people are going to feel this way, but I'd be curious to hear some thoughts from you guys. How do you feel about this? Are you a little bit concerned about it having a negative impact on the single player, or are you not that worried, or are you somewhere in between? I'd love to hear from you. I am a little bit concerned, I'm going to be honest. Now, it's entirely possible that it won't affect the single player, of course. They have done multiplayer in the past, that's Ubisoft, of course, with Assassin's Creed. They've had their rather cool multiplayer mode for quite some time, and you could argue, well, that didn't affect the single player, right? And that's true, but I'm still worried. That the two series are very different, and the scope of the two series is very different. So, I don't know, I'm a little bit concerned, but we'll have to see. I'm going to have a little bit of trust in Ubisoft for now, but it's a little bit dicey to say the least. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.